Hello and welcome to Dar es Salaam. Today we are going to fly the FlightFX Citation 10 all the way to Lilongwe in Malawi. It should take about 2 hours with the preparations included. It shouldn't be a too long flight, but it's not a minute either. We are going to use BeyondATC premium voices for this flight. It seems to be working now, so we should have ATC all the way, even if provided by AI. Unfortunately, WhatsIM is not present, but it rarely is in my experience in Africa anyway. So let's check our weights. We have 5,000 pounds of fuel. There's only us in the cockpit with 30 pounds of payload. That's what I wanted to see. Let's close the door. We will not need ground power, so we can simply go for Hotel Tango Delta Alpha here. And that's us on the airport. Okay. But for now, let's hide you and start with the checklist. So standby power will be our first, but let's just hide you and you for a second. So standby power on, and with that also have IRS on so that they can align. Emergency lights arm, battery 1 and 2 on, ACAS power on, it's quite bright here, so let's turn on the brightness for our instruments. Okay, that's the maximum we will get. Okay, let's go for the APU start. We can set you to bright as well. Okay, so fuel boost is norm, APU disengage and start in the norm position. APU master on. APU test. Done. Generator switch on. And APU start. Okay, it's running up and we should soon see APU amps here peak over 300. Almost there. Okay. We will leave it this way, and in a minute we will turn on bleed. So with the APU running, now we can have avionics on. position in it. GPS position. Flight plan. So, flight plan. We are flying to Lilongwe, which is Foxtrot Whiskey Kilo India. So, Foxtrot Whiskey Kilo India. And we will depart from runway 23 by the TV1 Delta to Qasim. And Upper Lima 437 Nibor. Then direct Utego, but that's already the arrival, so arrival runway 14, and I was planning for the airnav arrival from Utisha and using the UTEC 1 Alpha star. Activate, and it should leave. There's a discontinuity, we will delete. Okay, let's see what we made. Okay, that looks like what my plans look like. So we will use it. I will switch you to tune. And let's go for performance initialization. This seems right. Okay, we have 1 passenger, 30 cargo. Confirm. We will fly at 470. And current weather should be 210 at Niner, so 210 at Niner with 1014. Actually, we can also also set that here. It's already 1014. Nice. And it's okay. Shows the same. Alright. And outside temperature is 27 according to the matter, although I'm more likely to believe the measured data, but okay, it's definitely dry. Flaps 15. Okay, we will need 2,900 up to 10,300. We will have a bit of crosswind and our V2 is 128. Okay. So let's get back here to flight plan and let's go on with our checklist. Okay, parking brake is set, wheel chocks are removed, cabin door is closed. We have no passengers, so seats and seat belts are not important. However, lights are important. So nav lights on. That's for now. Exterior lights, you just set those. No warnings. Let's get 80s and clearance. So 80s should be 127.0. And then there is no delivery, only a ground on 121.8. So 121.8. 121.5 and then 127.
Clouds 1,400 feet. Few clouds 1,700 feet. Scattered 8,000 feet. Temperature 27 degrees. Dew point 23 degrees. QNH 1014. Landing and departing runways 14. 23. Transition level 080. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information X-ray. Dar es Salaam Airport information X-ray. 0733 Zulu. Surface wind 210 degrees 9 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Few clouds 1,400 feet. Few clouds 1,700 feet. Scattered 8,000 feet. Temperature 27 degrees. Dew point 23 degrees. QNH 1014. Landing and departing runways 14. 2.
Dar es Salaam ground, good morning. Citation Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November with information X-ray, request IFR to Lilongwe.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, Dar ground. Expect runway 23, Type 1 Delta departure with the Kasim transition. Initial climb to 6,000 feet. Squawk 1743.
TVL 1 Delta departure with the Kasim transition. Squawk 1743. Hotel Alpha X-ray, Mike November.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, read back correct. Call me back when ready for start or taxi.
Roger that. Hotel Alpha X-ray, Mike November.
Okay, so 1743 is set. That's just 1743, right? Initial altitude 6,000. Okay, runway 23, 201 Delta, that's what we planned for. Alright, and the runway 23 is... let's just it's 228, so heading 228. Okay, and let me just quickly change the levers on the throttle quadrant because I have forgotten that one and I left the propeller handles on it, which is of course not ideal. That happens when you want to set toga button and realize that you see blue handles instead of throttles. So, with that we have already moved them out from cutoff. So let's keep that in mind. Also, more than a minute have passed now, so we should have air conditioning on, and also we need that for the engine start. Let's set you to fuel, electric, and engine. Let's get back to the checklist. So we have clearance instruments are set, transponder set, fuel quantity was checked, yes, and their wing transfer is a norm. V speeds are calculated, we will have a 128 of V2. Okay, do we need pushback? We should ask for. There is Salaam Crown, the Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, request push and start.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, diagram, pushback and engine start approved. Face west.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face west, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Okay, face west, so that way more or less. Which will be not ideal for our taxi, but it is what it is. Alright, we will need then. I said we will need it. Manual pushback. Parking brake released. And it's not need to be. Let's slow you down and It's not ideal, but we are facing west now. We weren't really following the engine startups. I usually like to turn them on the spot, but I was expecting to turn right so we can taxi out that way, and then the airplane would have been in the way, but this way we might need to make a little loop back. We'll see how we will get directed. I want vertical profile on both MFTs. Actually, let's do our controls check. Rudder left, right, neutral, down, up, neutral, left, right, neutral. Speed brakes and retracted. And flaps 15 hopefully. Flaps 15. Set. Also, let's not forget to set the trim somewhere here. Okay, and also let's move weather radar into standby. So, flight controls were checked, flaps set, speed brakes checked, IRS is aligned, gas messages are what we would expect. We can turn on windshield heat and pitot heat. Also taxi lights. Anti-ice will not be needed. Pressurization. Let's set it while we can see something of it. We will fly on 470. I will try to set it a bit above, so we will not have any warnings, and then we can fine tune it later. Okay, passenger lights will not be turned, and okay. There is Salaam ground, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, request taxi to the active.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, runway 23 taxi via Alpha.
Runway 23 taxi via Alpha, Hotel Alpha X-ray, Mike November. Status.
What was that? Okay, it wants us to basically loop back, which is interesting, but okay. Speed brake, parking brake is released. Going to try to make this turn as tight as possible. Okay, so brakes checked, nose wheel steering is definitely working. Let's move ourselves a bit and then we will check the reversers. And then back to normal. Okay, toga pressed.
Tanzania 157, ready to copy IFR clearance to Arusha Airport.
Tanzania 157, Dar ground. Expect runway 2. 3 Table 1 Delta departure. Initial climb to 6,000 feet. Squawk 41, 44.
Okay, we can go
Table
faster
1
than
Delta
this.
departure. Squawk for 144. Tanzania 157.
Tanzania 157, read back correct. Call me back when ready for pushback or engine start.
Roger that, Tanzania 157. Tanzania 157 at ramp 26, request pushback.
Tanzania 157, Dar ground. Pushback approved. Face southeast.
Pushback approved, face southeast, Tanzania 157.
Okay, let's see. So our anti-ice is not required. Window heat is on. Flaps are set for takeoff. Trim is set. Wheel speeds are calculated. We will need about 3,000 feet of the 10,000. Runway heading is set. 6,000 altitude is set. And we are on GPS. Okay, I think we have set what we can set. Let's try and get to the runway.
Tanzania 157, request taxi to the active.
Tanzania 157, runway 23, taxi at pilot's discretion.
Runway 23, taxi my discretion, Tanzania 157.
Tanzania 157, contact data 118.3.
Contact tower 118.3, Tanzania 157.
Okay, we will be departing behind that. Is that an ATR? Or a dash 8?
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, contact data 118.3.
Over to Tower 118.3, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November. Have a good day.
It's a dash 8. Ooh, that would be a real problem. Salaam Tower, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, holding short runway 23, ready for departure.
Hotel Alpha X-ray, Mike November, hold short of 23, departing traffic.
Affirmative, hold short of 23 for traffic, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Hotel Alpha X-ray, Mike November, runway 23, line up and wait.
Runway 23, line up and wait, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Okay, we are going to try to not hit that windsock that someone planted right onto the taxi line.
Hotel Alpha X-Ray Mike November, Dar Tower, wind 210 degrees, 9 knots, runway 23, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 23, cleared for takeoff, Hotel Alpha X-Ray Mike November.
Tanzania 157, contact their departure 119.6.
Contact Dar departure 119
Okay,
decimal
let's
6,
go
Tanzania
for
157.
40% and 1. Then all the way up to takeoff thrust. Takeoff thrust set. And achieved. Let's release the brakes. We're looking for 128. 80 knots. 100. V2. Positive rate. Gears up. And flaps up. Let's arm the auto throttle. Level change. Nav mode. Autopilot.
Hotel Alpha X-Ray Mike November, contact their departure 119.6.
Contact Dar departure 119.6, Hotel Alpha X-Ray Mike November.
Departure, good morning, Citation Hotel Alpha X-Ray Mike November, 2,500 feet climbing 6,000.
Hotel Alpha X-Ray, Mike November, Dar departure, identified, climb to flight level 190.
Climb to flight level 190, Hotel Alpha X-Ray Mike November.
Okay, 190 set, level change is active. Okay, we are going to fly through those, so I would say engine anti-ice on, and you should be on ground, instead of ground, on flight, not collision.
Dar, Tanzania 157, 5,400 feet. Tanzania 157, Dar departure, identified, climb to flight level 120. Climb to flight level 120, Tanzania 157.
I really love the clouds in FS24 compared to the FS20 clouds. It still does not look like real life videos, but this absolutely look good compared to the old ones. Okay, after takeoff, so landing gear is up, flaps are up, throttle is managed by the auto throttle, it's on climb, holding 250, anti-ice is on, engine sync can go, turbine, weather radar should have been turned on. Pressurization is happening. APU can now stop. Okay, we passed 10,000 feet. We will now accelerate, then continue climb. However, we can turn off landing and taxi lights. out so that we can see at least one waypoint and
Tanzania
use
157, contact
so
our
we
radar
can
119
see
decimal
most
3.
of
Have
the
a good
route.
day. Contact our radar 119 decimal 3, Tanzania 157.
Passenger lines are not required. Altimeter set standard. 2992 and set standard. Okay, exterior lights are set and APU can now go absolutely off. All right.
Hotel Alpha X-ray. Mike November, contact our radar 119 decimal 3.
Contact our radar 119 decimal 3, Hotel Alpha X-ray, Mike November. Have a good day.
Radar, good morning. Citation Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, flight level 170, climbing 190.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, Dar radar, contact climb to flight level for 70.
Climb to flight level for 70, Hotel Alpha X-ray, Mike November.
Okay, 470 is our final cruising altitude. Oh, come on. Okay, 470 set, and we are still in flight level change mode. I'm going to keep the engine on the ice a bit more on, so we can pass those clouds too. And once we're in the clear, I will of course turn them off so that we can get that crest as well. Although we are still climbing very nicely, 2600 a minute. Let's sync our heading.
Dar Radar Ocean 137 Hotel Heavy, flight level 340.
Ocean 137 Hotel Heavy, Dar Radar contact.
radar Tanzania 236. Passing flight level 150 for flight level 180.
Tanzania 236 Dar radar contact, climb to flight level 360.
Climb to flight level 360, Tanzania 236.
So we will soon reach our cruising altitude of 470. We're still doing very good speed. And I will just move this to the progress page. So we have 269 miles to the top of descent. So it seems like flight level 470 was maybe too much. Maybe we should have gone with 430, but it's easy to be wise afterwards. And now we have reached our top of climb. It's time to speed up because Mach decimal 8 is too slow. So let's try to do some Citation 10 speeds.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, contact bearer radar 126.1.
Contact bearer radar 126.1, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Bearer radar, citation Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, flight level 470.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, bearer radar, radar contact. Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, bearer radar. Expect you to go 1 Alpha with the UTISA transition, runway 14.
Expecting UTIGA 1 Alpha arrival to the UTISA transition to runway 14, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November. And bearer radar, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November ready for descent.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, UTIGA 1 Alpha with the UTISA transition, runway 14, descend to flight level 210.
UTIGO 1 Alpha with the UTISA transition, runway 14, descend to flight level 210, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Okay, we are very close to our top of descent, so I'm going to start this descent with a VS mode of about 1000. And then we will capture VNAV. So far we get what we was planning for. The approach itself might be different, although if I can get away with it, I will ask for the AirNav 14 because it's the simplest one of the available ones, but we will see, of course. And as we have already started our descent, let's do some preparations. So we can delete you here and go for Foxtrot Whiskey Kilo India. Foxtrot Whiskey Kilo India. Enter. We are going to do the UTEGO 1 Alpha arrival. It's almost straight in towards UTISA with a minimum safe altitude of 7,000 feet, but no altitude and speed restrictions. So let's move over to the approach. I'm expecting, or I'm planning for the UTISA 1, the RNAV 14 from the UTISA transition, which is above 6,700, which is there. Then 5,700 at Utwak, which is also there. And then 5,700 all the way to Utemi, which should be exactly 5,700, and that's our final approach fix. Runway is at 4,025 feet with a minimum of 4,415. Let's set that. It will take quite a while. And 4,420. We will soon catch the V path and start descending a bit steeper. Let's also sync our heading. Once we land, the airport is pretty straightforward. There's a cargo apron and a passenger apron, of course we will go there. I'm not sure we will be able to do Bravo 2, but we will definitely we should definitely be able to do Charlie 2, but of course if we exit by Echo then nothing major happened. We will just only need to taxi a bit more then. Anyhow, so the plan is to do either Bravo 2 or Charlie 2. Bravo 2 seems to be a bit close, so I would expect Charlie 2 to take a left, another left, and go back to Bravo 1 or Alpha and take our parking spot. But for now, let's get back here. Although we aren't still not yet at Utego, it's 50 miles out. We can and we should get this to 4,000 feet. That should give us a cabin altitude of 4,000 when we land, and it will be 4,000 on the outside as well. It's quite high, but at least it won't need to change that much. Okay, descent checklist. Anti-ice is not yet on. Side window when the knobs are closed. Pressurization, we just set it for landing elevation. Exterior lights can wait, so can altimeter. Traffic? Where is traffic?
Ethiopian 848 Heavy. Contact Lilongwe Radar 120.6.
Center on 120.6, Ethiopian 848 Heavy.
And also please note that there is no it doesn't show here, so there is no 80s at Lilongwe. Only approach and tower. Approach and tower, so no 80s. What we do have is weather, so we can do our performance landing. Wind 1110 at 14. With temperature of 23 and altimeters 1021. It should be dry. It will be a flap 35. So let's see our landing data. We will have 13 from the nose and 1 from the left. Should be able to do it. We will need 3,300 feet and we have an approach speed of 190.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, contact Lilongwe Radar 120.6, bye bye.
Center on 120.6, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Lilongwe Radar, good morning. Citation Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, flight level 260, descending 210.
Hotel Alpha X-ray, Mike, November, Lilongwe Radar, radar contact.
Okay, so where were we? Okay, so approach speed is 119. We should remember that one.
Lilongwe Radar, Ethiopian 809 Heavy. Good day, flight level 380.
Ethiopian 809 Heavy, Lilongwe Radar identified.
And in case we get ILS, let's quickly just check. It's 1099. So 1099.
Hotel Alpha, X-ray, Mike November, descend to flight level 100.
Descend to flight level 100, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Okay, we are still on the V path, descending flight level 100. I will turn on the APU. We are pretty close. So better safe than sorry. generator on, main view start. Now we are on the arrival course. And I also think it's time we go manual speed and slow down a bit early. And since we are not utilizing much of our engine thrust, engine on the ice is on. Okay, recog, ground and anti-collision is on, nav lights on. Great. Let's see if we can do that. And approach Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, requesting the RNAV approach to runway 14.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, you're already assigned RNAV runway 14. Unable.
Well, we aren't, but at least we know your intentions then. You haven't said any approach yet, so... Okay.
Hotel Alpha X-ray, Mike November, contact Lilongwe approach 128.0.
Contact Lilongwe approach 128.0, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Lilongwe approach, good morning, Citation Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, flight level 130, descending 100.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November Lilongwe approach QNH 1022. Expect the RNAV runway 14 with the UTSA transition.
Now we have an
QNH
approach.
1022, expect the RNAV runway 14 with the UTSA transition. Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Okay, we are almost at
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, descend to 6,700 feet,
So,
QNH 1022.
landing lights
Descend
are
to 6,700 feet, QNH 1022, Hotel Alpha X-ray
6,700
Mike November.
is our final approach altitude, so it's nice to get it early. 6,700 and set, and we are still on the V path. And 1022 can now be set. 1022. Okay, set on both instruments and the standby as well.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, cleared direct UTISA, cross UTISA at or above 6,700 feet, cleared RNAV runway 14.
Cleared direct UTISA, cross UTISA at or above 6,700 feet, cleared RNAV runway 14, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Okay, our missed approach is direct to UNWEG, which is still 133, 6,700. We can set then our heading to 133. And it's time to lose some speed. And going into the soup, one more. So landing and taxi lights are on, engine sync off. And let's quickly check our checklist. So anti-ice is on, APU is on, altimeter is set, landing data was calculated, our approach speed was 119. Cruise brief minimum set 4420. It's 1000 to go. Fuel cross switch is off, it hasn't been on. Exterior lights are on. Flap sets are to go, passengers, no passengers, and seatbelts. There's the reason. Engine sync is on, pressurization is still happening, I guess, but it's almost 4000 anyway. Yeah, it's 4000, so we are already on. Okay, let's slow down 190. And approach on, since this is an RNAV approach, we can arm it early. We get a bit below the that's 6,700, but correcting. Let's go sleds, flaps 5. Let's go flaps 15. And gears down. Let's slow down even further to 150. We are turning final. We can set now flaps full. And Utwak is 11, so we're about 11, 10 miles out. Utami will be 5, so we are going to start our glide slope White lead. Okay, landing lights on, gear down, free green, no red, flaps full, engine sync is off. Approach checklist complete. Trusting that we are starting the glide path early. Really? We should only do it from Utami and we are still a bit off. Okay, 6700 is for the missed approach as well. So it's already set as well as the heading for the missed approach. Runway is in sight. Let's slow down to 1.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, contact Lombardi Tower 118.7.
Contact Tower 118.7, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Lilongwe Tower, Citation Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, RNAV 14.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, Lombardi Tower, wind 090 degrees, 15 knots. Runway 14 cleared to land.
Runway 14 cleared to land. Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Final approach altitude was 5,700 and we were 5,700, so I was wrong. Luckily the FMS has more sense than I have. Okay, outer marker. Auto thrust off. And autopilot off. Getting high, and we are not lined up. Inner marker. Okay, thrust idle. Flaring a bit high. And the bounce landing.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November. Exit next available taxiway.
Exit next available taxiway, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
As expected, it's the Charlie 2. Okay, flaps up. Landing lights off. Okay, flight director can go standby. And Lilongwe Tower, Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, request taxi to the assigned ramp.
Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November, ramp 15 taxi via Alpha.
Ramp 15 via Alpha. Hotel Alpha X-ray Mike November.
Okay. Let's move you a bit out and if it's via Alpha, then it's not correct because this one is Delta. So we will have to rely on the BeyondATC chart. According to BeyondATC, we will not take Bravo 1. Okay, that one is actually called Alpha, so even if it's, I don't know, might be intentional, might be absolutely coincidence. Anyhow, this is where we should turn right, and according to BeyondATC, the first parking slot is ours, so let's take this one. Okay. Parking brake is set, anti-ice systems off. Taxi light can go off. Anti-collision to ground. So U2 cut off, and U2 cut off as well. IRS off. Weather radar off. Should have been off, or at least standby while we were taxiing. Standby power can go off. We can have chocks and door, and then And stop the APU. Good enough. APU master off. Avionics off. ACAS off. And batteries off. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lilongwe. I hope you enjoyed this flight, even though it wasn't the smoothest landing ever, since it was a bit bumpy, but it wasn't terrifying either, at least in my opinion. I hope you agree with me, but if you don't, please do tell me in the comments, or if you like the landing, also please do tell me in the comments. I could use all the praise you can give. So, well, thank you for joining me on this flight, and I hope to see you on our next flight, and until then, goodbye.